Good morning, class 12th. We are discussing chapter 3. Today, this is the last video of this chapter. We have discussed one economic reform which was done in 1991 due to serious crisis in Indian economic conditions, due to which new economic policy came with LPG, that was liberalization, privatization and globalization. This new economic policy came up with a very transforming India where LPG changed so many things. Now today we are going to discuss demonetization, which is also another biggest economic reforms done on 8th November 2016, and you all have witnessed this reform. The Government of India made an announcement on November 8, 2016 with profound implications. Profound means deeply implications for the Indian economy because it wanted to improve the conditions of economy. So it was decided to demonetize high value currency notes of denomination of rupees 500 and rupees 1000 with immediate effect, ceasing to be legal tender except for a few specified purposes such as paying utility bills. This led to 86% of the money in circulation invalid. The people of India had to deposit the invalid currency in the banks, which came along with the restrictions placed on cash withdrawals. In other words, restrictions were placed on the convertibility of domestic money and bank deposits. The main aim was to curb corruption, black money and illegal activities. Children, kindly note down this main aim. It is very important and generally it may be asked. Okay. So its main aim was to curb corruption, black money and illegal activities. So simple meaning of demonetization is the act of removing a currency unit of its status as legal tender. एक करेंसी का अगर वो लीगल टेंडर हटा दिया जाए, रिमूव कर दिया जाए, तो वो केवल एक कागज का टुकड़ा है. ऐसा नहीं था कि करप्शन को रोकने के लिए इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने फर्स्ट टाइम ऐसा स्टेप लिया. इससे पहले भी 2 बार ये स्टेप इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ले चुकी थी. फर्स्ट टाइम 1946 में और सेकंड टाइम 1978 में भी इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने डिमोनेटाइजेशन किया हुआ था और थर्ड टाइम 2016 में वापस डिमोनेटाइजेशन किया गया टू स्टॉप वेरियस इलीगल एक्टिविटीज. Now let us talk about features of demonetization. Demonetization is viewed as a tax administration measure. टैक्स जब लगाया जाता है लोगों पे तो इतना easily वो टैक्स देते नहीं हैं. But demonetization के बाद क्या हुआ? That cash holdings arising from declared income was readily deposited in banks and exchanged for new notes. But those with black money had to declare unaccounted income and pay tax penalty was imposed. जिन लोगों ने उसको black money जिन के भी पास थी उनको उनकी unaccounted wealth जो थी उसे declare करना पड़ा और उस पे tax penalty देनी पड़ी. Demonetization is also interpreted as a shift on the part of the government, indicating that tax evasion will no longer be tolerated or accepted. Tax evasion जो है, टैक्स की चोरी जो है वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया जाएगा. Demonetization also led to tax administration channelizing savings into the formal financial system. जो सेविंग्स थी, जितनी भी सेविंग्स थी जो घर में छुपी हुई जो अमाउंट थी वो सारी की सारी फॉर्मल फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम में एक बार फिर से आ गई. Another feature of demonetization is to create a less cash और cash light economy. जहाँ पे कि कैश बहुत ज़्यादा यूज में ना आती हो, वहाँ जहाँ पे कि डिजिटल ट्रांजैक्शंस ज़्यादा होते हों. ठीक है, दैट इज channeling more savings through the formal financial system and improving tax compliance. इससे लोगों को टैक्स का जो एक्सेप्ट करने का जो एक सिस्टम था वो इम्प्रूव हुआ. ओके, अब बात करते हैं इम्पैक्ट ऑफ डीमोनेटाइजेशन. सबसे पहले देखते हैं इंटरेस्ट रेट्स पे क्या इफेक्ट हुआ. डिक्लाइन इन कैश ट्रांजैक्शंस, देन बैंक डिपॉजिट्स इंक्रीज्ड एंड इंक्रीज इन फाइनेंशियल सेविंग्स. यहाँ फाइनेंशियल सेविंग्स की बात हो रही है. लोगों के पास जो सेविंग्स थी वो सारी की सारी बैंक्स में जमा हो गई और वो फाइनेंशियल सेविंग्स में कन्वर्ट होकर वो इंक्रीज हो गई. ओके, अब बात करते हैं प्राइवेट वेल्थ पे क्या इफेक्ट हुआ डिमोनेटाइजेशन से. देन प्राइवेट वेल्थ declined since some high demonetized notes were not returned and real estate prices fell. In public sector wealth, no effect. Okay, then digitization, digital transactions obviously increased. Okay, new users of RuPay and AEPS means Aadhaar enabled payment system increased. Okay, real estate prices decline and tax collection rise in income tax collection because of increased disclosure. अब बात करते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट जब भी कभी पॉलिसी चेंज करती है तो उससे बिजनेस और इंडस्ट्री पे क्या इम्पैक्ट होता है. तो ये जो इम्पैक्ट है ये पॉइंट्स हैं. फर्स्ट, इंक्रीजिंग कंपटीशन, दैट कंपटीशन इंक्रीजेस. अब जैसे जो एलपीजी की जो पॉलिसी गवर्नमेंट लाई थी उससे क्या क्या चेंजेस हुए, क्या क्या इम्पैक्ट हुआ बिजनेसेस पे. तो सबसे पहला जो इफेक्ट हुआ वो ये हुआ कि कंपटीशन इंक्रीज हो गया. आफ्टर द इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म्स, डी लाइसेंसिंग एंड liberalized entry of foreign firms have increased the competition for Indian firms, or especially in service sector like telecommunication, airline, banking, insurance, etc., which were earlier reserved for public sector. So competition increased in each sector, even in banking sector also, because after the banking reforms, banking sector's competition was also increased, and banks like SBI had faced lot of competition from banks like ICICI and HSBC. एलपीजी के आने से बहुत सारी फॉरेन कंपनीज की बाढ़ आ गई. उससे क्या हुआ, वेल इन्फॉर्म्ड customers are more demanding. Increased competition in the market gives customer wider choice of quality products at reasonable price. Then second impact was that more demanding customers. Today customers have become more demanding because they are well informed and manufacturers take pains in satisfying their expectations. So increased competition in the market give the customers wider choice in purchasing better quality of goods and services. This has created buyers market in the country. पहले जहाँ पे sellers market हुआ करता था, अब जो सिचुएशन है वो जस्ट ऑपोजिट हो गई है. अब बायर्स मार्केट है बिकॉज कस्टमर इज द किंग ऑफ द मार्केट. जैसा वो चाहता है वैसा ही कंपनीज को काम करना होता है, अदरवाइज वो कंपटीशन से बाहर हो जाती है. Then third point is rapidly changing technological environment. Increased competition made it compulsory for Indian firms to develop new ways to survive and grow in the market. जैसे Tata spent huge amount of research and development of nano car so that it can withstand ever-changing technological environment. Okay, now next point is necessity for change. Before the economic reforms, the business environment was quite stable and business plans and policies used to continue for a long period of time. However, after reforms, the market forces have become turbulent and enterprises have to continuously modify their operation and policies. For example, like LG, Samsung, Bajaj keep on making changes in their products so that their products can face competition. ये ज़रूरत है, नेसेसिटी है चेंज के लिए, नहीं तो क्या होगा, वो कंपटीशन से बाहर हो जाएंगे. Then next is need for developing human resource. Indian firms have suffered a lot due to shortage of trained personnel. इंडिया के पास इतनी ज़्यादा ट्रेन्ड और क्वालिफाइड पर्सनल मीन्स ह्यूमन रिसोर्स available नहीं था. The new market conditions require people with higher competence and greater commitment. So, the firms have realized the need to develop human resource. इसीलिए तो जो on the job और off the job training की जो डिमांड है वो कंटिन्यूसली इंक्रीज होती जा रही है और उनकी नेसेसिटी फर्म्स ने भी फील की है और इसीलिए वो अपने एम्प्लॉयज़ की नॉलेज को कंटिन्यूसली अपडेट करते रहते हैं. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज मार्केट ओरिएंटेशन. पहले फर्म्स क्या करती थी कि प्रोडक्शन ओरिएंटेड अप्रोच यूज़ करती थी. मतलब प्रोडक्शन पहले और उसके बाद वो प्रोडक्ट जाएगा मार्केट में सेल होने के लिए. बट अब जो कंपटीशन इंक्रीज हो गया है उससे अब फर्म्स को पहले मार्केट को सर्वे करना होता है और कस्टमर्स की नीड को स्टडी करना होता है, एनालिसिस करना होता है और उसके बाद प्रोडक्ट को डिज़ाइन करके उसकी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करनी होती है और तभी वो जो प्रोडक्ट है वो कस्टमर्स की नीड्स को सेटिस्फाई कर पाता है. तो मार्केट ओरिएंटेशन भी एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट इफेक्ट है. एंड लास्ट इज लॉस ऑफ बजटरी सपोर्ट टू द पब्लिक सेक्टर. क्योंकि 1991 के बाद क्या हुआ कि पब्लिक सेक्टर का रोल जो था वो कंटिन्यूसली डिक्लाइन होता गया. ओके, तो पब्लिक सेक्टर यूनिट्स ने भी रियलाइज़ किया कि अगर उन्हें सरवाइव करना है तो और उनको कॉम्पिटिटिव वर्ल्ड में उनको ग्रो करना है तो उनको भी अपनी परफॉर्मेंस इम्प्रूव करनी होगी और उनको अपने खुद के रिसोर्स जनरेट करने होंगे. तो इसीलिए उनको बजटरी सपोर्ट का लॉस हुआ है. After this, one more topic is left in this chapter, that is managerial response to change in business environment. जो भी चेंजेस होते हैं उसमें मैनेजर का रिस्पॉन्स कैसा होना चाहिए. A business enterprise can survive successfully only when it can cope up with the environmental uncertainties. So, managerial response is very important for this, and some important decisions are taken by managers of Indian companies to cope up with continuously changing business environment. So some outlines are given here. One is diversification. So many Indian companies are going for diversification by introducing new range of products and services in which they have no prior experience. For example, Reliance Industries entered into mobile communication. Several other companies have also diversified into both related and unrelated fields of business. Second is joint venture with MNCs. Many Indian companies are adopting this sort of business combinations to make themselves stronger and to enable them to face environmental pressures and uncertainties with more strength and confidence. For example, joint venture between Jaguar and Tata Motors, Mahindra and Mahindra with Ford, etc. Then one more way is that acquisition and mergers are increasing day by day. So there has been an increase in Indian industry since economic reforms. For example, Vodafone India and Idea Cellular are merging operations in the country to create an entity that will be equally owned by UK's Vodafone Group and India's diversified Aditya Birla Group. Second example that is Flipkart acquired its fashion-focused rival Myntra. So acquisitions and mergers are also increasing day by day. Next is use of modern technology. Most of the business firms are trying to adopt the latest technology to upgrade quality and reduce cost. Upgradation to the modern technology is very crucial for all the companies. For example, cellular companies are continuously developing new models of mobiles with the latest processors. Then brand building. Companies are now making substantial investment in building and popularizing brands. For this, they are spending huge amount on various promotional activities. For example, Companies engaged in consumer durable products like Samsung and LG do lots of advertisement for brand building, customer orientation. Now companies pay more attention towards the needs and convenience of customers. They have started manufacturing products as per customers' needs and stresses on customer satisfaction. So toll-free numbers are also provided by these companies. Then last point is higher level of compensation. So in order to compete with the salaries in MNCs, there is a considerable increase in pay package offered by Indian companies in managerial as well as technical jobs. The starting pay of engineering and management graduates have also increased significantly. Companies are following performance linked incentive schemes such as employee stock option plans. So this type of plans are also offered by companies to increase the level of compensation as well as to make them more committed towards their business. So here our chapter ends. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.